Hello and thanks for joining the first edition of Journalist Hangout. This week, I am Ayodele Uzubakun. Today on the program, former Adamawa State Governor Nyako wants Oyegun others' tenure elongation reversed. Miyetti Allah protests as police arrest 54 over attack on Taraba communities. And later on the show, one of Nigeria's most cerebral senators, Ali Wakili, slumps, dies. I'll be hanging out with Babajide Kolade Otitoju, Mayor Akipelu, and Mobolade Omonijo is making his debut. So if you're ready, let the hangout start now. Glad to have you back. Former Adamawa State Governor Nyako is unhappy. He's sad that the All Progressive Congress may suffer the same fate that befell the People's Democratic Party in 2015 if it does not put its house in order. Nyako sees a crisis waiting in 2019. He described the controversial tenure elongation for the party's national chairman, John Oyegun, and other state executives as death sentence for the party. The Adamawa former governor believes that if there is no convention in the party before the next general election, the APC may become a spectator instead of a participant. How right is Babajide that used to call Mongoro? Now, Babajide, looking at the way this is now, he's a major stakeholder in Adamawa politics and is lending his voice on this tenure elongation. But what he's talking about now, why is it so difficult for the All Progressive Congress since 2015 to have a decent convention, whether elective or non-elective convention? Why has it been difficult?
I think as the months rolled by, the crevices within the party expanded, and it became even more difficult to achieve unanimity within the party. The APC is a ruling party today, but it's a fractured party. In at least 10 of the states, you have crisis. And this is the reason they are really scared to go into a convention not far away from the general election. And they said it at that time, that look, it's best for us, on the day that decision was taken, they said, look, it's best for us to not go to go for a convention at this time, because they weren't sure of what could be the fallout of that convention in a situation in which in many states you have crisis. The party, at the beginning I felt that before, at the root of all this is selfishness on the part of some heavyweights within the party, and the hunger for power. Especially governors are the root of this. You can understand why Babame Mongoro is displeased, because he could see that clearly the national chairman of the party has aligned with the governor of the state. And in aligning with the governor of the state, the constitution of the APC has been trampled upon. In the case of Adamawa State, as it also happened in Kaduna, the constitution says when someone holding an elective position in the party moves on to take maybe a bigger responsibility, the next person to him becomes the acting chairman. But what happened in Adamawa State? In Adamawa State, they have zonal vice chairmen. They ignored those zonal vice chairmen. They now went to pick a local government chairman to become the acting chairman of the party. You know that the former chairman of the party is now in the Senate. That woman from Adamawa State, I can't remember her name now. She was chairman of the party, And then when she left for the Senate, the person who was deputy died. So the deputy should have replaced her, but the deputy died. So when the deputy died, they just went, instead of picking one of the zonal vice chairman, they just went and picked the chairman of Mechika local government. And that's the anger of the Nyako camp. The Nyako camp is the strongest in Adamawa politics. That camp produced the current governor, defeated Atiku Abubakar twice in the party primaries. But the governor has succeeded in alienating them. In fact, the governor is believed to have instigated the Lamido of Adamawa to remove Babami Mongoro and his son, Abdulaziz, who is in the Senate, as title chiefs. He dropped Babami Mongoro as Seriki Yama and dropped his son, Abdulaziz Nyako, as Seriki Matasa. So they are not happy. They believe that under the current arrangement, they are being shortchanged within the party. And they are, the former governor is very strong, because if you saw the crowd that received him, after his impeachment, he relocated to Abuja. But anytime he comes home, the roads are jammed. And the crowd that received him last weekend, when he came to pay a visit to the family of the late Saleh Michika, the first executive governor of Adamawa State, was huge. In fact, at the airport, the governor had to be kept inside one of the lounges because the people was yelling, they wanted to stone him. So they had to keep him there in order not to have the governor molested. So, and he affirmed his faith in the committee, the Tinubu committee, that he is part of, that this is a committee that can actually help them to smoothen the rough edges. But he thinks that this is just the elongation of the tenure of Oyegun amounts to postponing the evil day.
Mayor, what do you feel about what's the reservation? Before now, we have a GAC council in Lagos State, coming together and saying that, no, they reject, that's for Lagos chapter, that they reject the tenure elongation for the national chairman and all other states.
Binta
Okay.
Binta Mashi, that's the senator.
Okay, that
I want to align my thoughts with those who are against the idea of elongation, and I'll tell you why. It is sad that a ruling party, a party that is in government, cannot organize a convention. Initially, the argument, the excuse was that they were not able to raise enough funds to do that. But not only that they cannot organize a convention, the principal organs of the party do not meet regularly. So it is a party that is not being run properly, and you have a chairman that's not even in charge of the party. So if we can criticize PDP, even PDP, as fractured as they are, as unserious as some people may term them to be, they were able to organize conventions. And APC could not do that. And I believe that, yes, I can understand why they are extending the terms of these people, because like you said, they know that the party is in problem, and they don't want a situation where there will be a major crisis on their hands and people will leave the party and all that. But that's not democracy. If you cannot run a party, you understand, how can you win an election? There's no guarantee that you can, if you cannot run a party, because if you cannot in your own, people that are members of your own party, if you cannot make them to come together and decide that these are the officials that should run the affairs of the party, if you're even scared to do that because you know that it may destroy the party, then are we sure that you can go into the next election if you have credible opposition and win it? So I agree with what Admiral Nyako said, that the APC is walking blindly into a crisis that will consume it.
Bolade, now when you look at the wisdom behind this tenure elongation, they are saying that, look, already we have the presidential primaries that could come up anytime from October. That if we have a national convention in June, and if any crisis, arises from the national convention, and we are not able to manage it till our presidential primaries, that it will not augur well. That whatever may be the evil day, let's postpone it till after the 2019 election.
From the way they think, it makes sense. From the way they think, it is true that, of course, it will affect the party. There's no doubt about that because there's crisis. But at the same time, if you do not go into it, the crisis will still be there. So it's between the devil and the deep blue sea that you've got to take a decision. And they have the problem now because they've not been running as a democratic organization. If they've been doing that since they started, they won't be talking of, well, we are confronted with elections just now. Let's not, like he said, the organs have not been meeting regularly. The NEC has not been meeting regularly. The caucus has not been meeting regularly. So there has been problem within the party, and everybody keeps putting paper on the cracks. So now they are confronted with it, as it were. But I just want to say that, generally speaking, I'm very displeased with the way we run political parties. And it's a major problem because it's at the heart of the democratic system. We saw what happened in South Africa recently. The people were displeased with Mr. Zuma. The ANC decided, Zuma, you must go. He decided at first to see what he could do and meander through it. They said, no, you must go. If you don't want to, let's go to the House and we'll have a vote of no confidence. And he knew at that point, once the ANC had made up its mind, it's a disciplined organization,
Yes.
he was a gunner. So he
That was
decided.
the last...
But that was it. He had to go. It's not the first time. Once the ANC as a disciplined organization, even if we had tendencies and factions, in all parts of the world, we have tendencies within political parties.
Yes.
You have them. But when it comes to the critical interests of the party, they come together. But we don't have that here. Sections 221 to 229 of our Constitution is always talking about the political parties, because that's why you don't have even independent candidacy at the moment. So the political party is very, very important. Yet we run it lackadaisically. You only have 1, 2 people who just decide what they want to do. The president, I'm not talking of just this president, decided, maybe from Obasanjo down, decides this, the way it must go. And he says, this one gets key leg, it has key leg. That's the problem we've been having. Unless we get it right at the party level, we are not likely to get our democracy right.
Babajide, Mr. President has not helped APC because it's as if Mr. President was, immediately he was sworn into his office, maybe he was overwhelmed by governance and everything. But for a long time, it wasn't as if he rode at the back of APC to get to the Aso Rock. It is now that it's showing interest, maybe because of election coming and everything. But for a long time, I'm aware that for a long time, the party has been broke. For a long time, there was a time they couldn't pay the staff salary, that secretariat, for a long time. And it's as if nothing was happening within the ranks of APC. So that thing gravitated towards, took like 2-3 years. Now, less than 11 months to election, APC is confronted with this kind of crisis.
Yes, the president should have shown leadership, because as president is the leader of the party. It's not the chairman of the party, it's the leader of the party. That is the way it is by tradition. So he should have held the party together. But this president has been aloof from the beginning. He wanted a situation in which other people could decide the fate of the party. And now he has seen clearly that that party is the vehicle by which he can retain the position that he occupies now. So he's now beginning to show interest in reuniting the party. For so long, you saw for so long people in the party who had been displeased, who had felt shortchanged, you know, in the scheme of things, people who were not members of the PDP, I mean APC, were the people who inherited positions, who got plum positions after the president took over.
Remember Mamora now?
Yes, they gave him a position that he felt was diminishing. So he decided not to take it. Well, let's even forget Senator Mamora. The Customs Controller General said some time ago that the PDP had taken over, that the PDP members had taken over the APC. Why was he saying that? You had a situation in which the list of board members that they rolled out, where you found some people, dead people, you know, featuring as board chairman and all that. Some of the people on that list were card-carrying PDP members.
To date.
Yes. Look at one of the appointees from Borno State. He remains a card-carrying member of the PDP. Oh, just because someone comes from the same hometown of Bama with the chief of staff, and then the chief of staff just puts his name there. When you do such things, the blood of the true PDP, APC members will boil.
Worked there
because people who worked, you have refused to reward them. And then you have the chief of staff bringing people from his hometown who are still card-carrying members of PDP. They've not renounced the party, they remain there, and you are putting them on the board. So some of these things have angered APC members, and if the president had shown leadership, had shown interest in the running of the party, if the president had shown interest in uniting the party from the beginning, all this would not have happened, because Oyegun let matters degenerate. You know, on a particular occasion on this program, we challenged him to even call a meeting with the APC caucus in the National Assembly. Because in all my years of monitoring politics, I've never seen a situation in which members of a ruling party in the Senate are as belligerent as we have currently in the current Senate. When there's something negative about the government that people want to complain about, look at the first set of people that will get up.
APC senators.
They are usually the APC senators. I look at them, you see their names, you see that they are APC senators. And we said, call a meeting with these people. He called a meeting about 48 hours after we talked about it. But that's the only meeting that I have remembered that the chairman of the party called. So he let things degenerate. All those states where they will have one problem or the other, we've not seen a determined stance demonstrated by the national chairman to solve those problems. If a governor is demolishing people's homes up and down, to the point that he even demolished the home of the national vice chairman, APC for the Northwest, and left the houses around that house intact, that should tell you that it's political vendetta. But nothing happened. And what was the crime of the man who had his house demolished? It was the National Secretariat that said, go and wade into that matter. So if you waded into the matter and somebody didn't feel that he was even-handed, why should the punishment be demolishing of his house? And then some people had the audacity to say, okay, they were suspending a governor. Yes, that was even ridiculous, no doubt about it. But should the punishment be to demolish after you had set up a committee led by Asiwaju Bola Ahmed Tinubu to go and resolve the dispute? He proceeded at 4 a.m. to have that man's house demolished, and then the president saw him. Instead of rebuking him, you say, oh, car took out bulldozer. You told him, oh, you drove bulldozer. And then he responded, Adama. You know, so that it is not a joking matter, because all these things have divided the party months to general election. And the fear that they have, that fear will still come to pass. A third force has emerged in a manner that we didn't expect. We thought, oh, they were going to, some people will form a new party. But the reason that to forming a new party so late in the day will not make any sense. And they come up with the idea of using the SDP as a vehicle. And you see now, with in the next few months, you see the people who will be joining the SDP, because whether we like it or not, some people already see that in the APC there's no future for them, as long as things remain the same.
Mayor, so what do we have here? People that are aggrieved within the ranks of APC, and definitely if the crisis is not managed well, we might be having a kind of deja vu of what happened in the last election.
APC as a party should pray that the committee headed by Asiwaju Bola Ahmed Tinubu succeed. Whether they will succeed, I don't think so, but they should pray. Because what I'm saying so is that it will be very difficult to reverse that decision to elongate the term of this executive. It's very difficult because the party...
It's even constitutional.
Yeah. No, it's not constitutional to do that.
And what if some people go to court?
Yes,
somebody has
won't
gone to court.
Yes, some people have gone to court already.
Won't they be
Yes.
forced to reverse?
Yes, some people have gone to court
Dr.
already.
Ahmed has
Because
gone
you see, Dr. Ahmed has gone to court. You see, because the problem that they have is that they are scared of... Because right now, the organs that is running the party is not effective. With all respect to Chief Oyegun is the problem of the party. Because as the chairman of the party, you are supposed to show leadership for the party. There's nothing wrong, even if the president, yes, the president did not get involved or show leadership, I concede that. But the chairman of the party doesn't stop the chairman of the party calling the meeting of the NEC. I don't even think they have a board of trustees.
No, they don't.
Yeah, they don't.
They have, but
yes,
they don't
that's
have...
what I'm saying. They don't, there's no board of trustees.
They don't have chairman.
That's the chairman of the board of trustees.
It has not been constituted.
They don't meet. Doesn't stop the chairman who knows what he's doing to be able to say, okay, these are the organs of the party that can help the party. Let us, even they can even use that. If he knows what he's doing, he can even raise funds through executives, members of the party. You understand what I'm saying? So he didn't show enough leadership.
And he has shown so much bias. That
yes,
is the
and
complaint.
part of it, he has shown a lot of bias because he aligned, when there are crises in some places, he aligned himself, which he shouldn't have done. And the so-called Abuja gang, you understand, it seems to favor the Abuja gang, and there are problems in the party everywhere. But if there is a court judgment to say that they should do that convention, that would be very terrible for the party. So what I just hope that they could achieve is that the Reconciliation Committee, because of the influence of the person that is heading it, may be able to solve some of the problems so that the problems will not overwhelm the party. If not, they may be in for a surprise.
Okay, let me quickly take... Abubakar is calling us from Kano State, my first caller for the program today.
Yeah.
Thank you, Abu.
Yeah. Good evening. How are you doing?
Very well, thank you, Abu.
Let me contribute towards this party elongation issue.
Okay.
You see, we have said it several times on this program that there are crises in Katsina, in Bauchi, in Kaduna, in Kano, and so many other things.
Yes.
But the executive kept mute, and they could have done something right from the beginning that this problem shouldn't have been what it is now. But I realize that APC is a party of convenience, a party to achieve individual interest, not real party per se, real party for good governance. They were there to push away PDP, just like the PDP came to push away the military. You know, rush, and then they removed the military. So APC were there also to remove PDP. And exactly the problem is now itching them. You know, it's easy to do one thing and easy to reap, the benefit of it later. So it is now the people, and even Tinubu said there's hunger in the land, but nothing happened in terms of good governance. So now it is between them, the executive, the power-sharing people, and that they are paying, and we, the masses that voted it into power, will hold our arms and then decide with our votes.
Thank you, Abu. Thank you for your contribution. I spoke with Malam Bolaji Abdullahi at a point in time to ask him why this convention thing, a lot of people have been saying that APC, you've been going against your own constitution. That why have you not held your convention, whether biannually or whatever, they will, elective or non-elective? And we know that constitutionally, by June this year, Oyegun's tenure will be rounding off. As in the executive, they are meant to have an elective convention. And they are saying, he told me that NEC could decide, that NEC could actually take those things. Say, instead of the convention, NEC could decide to act in place of the convention, that it's written in their own constitution. That was his reply.
Did he cite the section?
No, he didn't. He didn't. He said NEC could take the place.
When people try to short-circuit things, when they want to cut corners, it will catch up with them. In the first instance, Malam Bolaji Abdullahi is not a critical stakeholder. He's an office holder. And so he may not be his own agent. There are critical sections of the party, and they have their men. So it may not be, it's not the leader of any of the tendencies. Let's just put that on aside. So the talking...
Can only talk.
You can only talk. And there has to be careful.
At a point in
It's
time.
it's probably the voice of one of the tenants.
So that's the point. But I want to say that the major problem I think we have is, I want to disagree a little, even though we are agreeing at the same time. I think the major problem we have is Mr. President. It's not even Mr. Oyegun. Yes, Oyegun, you can see he's not a firm leader, he's not whatever. But from day one, the president has not shown leadership for the country at all, generally. It was because of him that we have the National Assembly the way it is.
Yes.
He said, I'm not interested in what happens in the assembly. Now there was crisis, he was now trying, they said, no, Mr. Man, it's too late. You now have, you now have power sharing in the Senate. What do you expect? In the party itself, he's not showing interest. You have problem in this section, people get across to him. He leaves it to Mr. Oyegun, who has not demonstrated leadership in any way, who has not shown capacity to really do anything. So there's a problem. So I think that I hope it's not too late. The only thing that can help the APC go into the election is because the PDP itself is in disarray. It's almost unlikely for it to be able to really ginger up now. And the SDP is coming late in the day. I hope it's not too late. But they are going to shake them, whatever the matter. They will be shaken because a number of people will move. The thing that will help them a little, from my own reading, is that Mr. Buhari is still very popular in the far north among the hoi polloi. The elite may not like whatever.
They don't like him.
But that's the only that could help them, so that they have a solid constituency with the masses.
Yes.
But the Southwest is also critical, and I don't know his standing in the Southwest today.
Still critical. Still to come. On the show, Miyetti Allah protests as police arrest 54 over attack on Taraba communities. Stay with us. It's still journalist Anga. We'll be right back after this break. It's the groundbreaking program of the year, journalist Hangout, and Taraba State is deeply divided along ethnic lines. The division has been deepened by herdsmen and farmers' clashes that have claimed hundreds of lives recently. 7 persons were killed in Tunkom and Usa local government areas, as well as Yangtu Special Development Area. Many believe security agencies have failed in their duties for failing to arrest the perpetrators. On March the 14th, the Taraba State Police Command arrested 54 herdsmen for alleged participation, participating in those attacks. But the Miyetti Allah Cattle Breeders Association of Nigeria has cried foul. It claimed that the header's arrest was personal and could jeopardize the peace in that area. Babajiro, what is going on?
I honestly do not see what is wrong in what the police have done. The police got information that a crowd of headers were heading towards a local government, probably with the intention of killing people. And they decided to move in, arrested those guys, and they began to profile them, interrogate them. And in the process, some of them claimed that, look, we are cattle breeders, we have cattle in Kashimbila. I said, okay, if you have cattle in Kashimbila, you will take us there. We'll go and see your cattle. Out of the lot, 5 were found to be actually cattle rustlers. Another 5 discovered to be part of the people involved in some killings that took place earlier. Because we are the ones saying police, they are not doing enough. They can't be doing their work now and then we'll criticize them. If they like, they can arrest 1 million cattle breeders. In the process, they will find those who are truly criminals. The president has given the mandate that the police and the army must fish out these killers. And if you've been reading the newspapers in the last 1 week, you see clearly that arrests have been made. Look at what happened in I think, Plateau, where they even found out of the people arrested, the ID card of Miyetti Allah was said to have fallen to the ground. And then some young boys who were on the rampage destroying people's farms were also arrested. These are the people who cause crisis in the land. Whether they are Mambila natives or Fulani, anyone who does not want peace in our country, the security agencies should be able to go after them, arrest them. If after interrogation you show your innocence is clear, they will let you go. This is what has happened. Because I know out of these 54, they've been able to discover people who are actually paid killers. So I don't think the police have done anything wrong. In fact, I want to encourage them to do more. Because when you look at what's going on, even the president admitted in Taraba that some of the Fulanis coming to kill people in Nigeria are Fulani from Libya, from Mauritania, from different places. So we cannot leave them alone and watch them killing people. Of the massive destruction they are doing, they are trying to protect their own businesses and they are destroying other people's businesses. People, if you find out now, in Benue is not at war, but the number of IDPs in Benue now is already over 200,000. So how can we continue like this?
Mayor, Prince Tony Momo, former Minister of Information, actually said, look, what's the big deal? Why this stigma, Fulani herdsmen? Why not Yoruba armed robbers? Why not, Igbo this, Igbo that? Why must it be Fulani herdsmen?
With all respect to Chief Tony Momo, I don't think we should even bother to discuss that statement. That statement is ridiculous, to say the least. Because it's not as if stigmatizing an ethnic group. No. The people that are committing these atrocities are Fulani herdsmen. That's who they are. And we have to refer to them who they are. Yes, I concede. Yes, of course they are. Of course they are.
Even if they're not Nigerians.
Even if they're not Nigerians. It doesn't have, because, yes.
Outside.
Because, you see, that's the problem. Because a lot of them, if you remember on this program, we've discussed it before, that most of the people committing those atrocities are more or less like terrorists who are terrorists. Yes, the terrorists that are doing that.
They are not Nigerians.
It's like they are armed faction of that
terrorizing
group.
their fellow Fulanis.
Yes, because they come in. That is why it is easier for them to do those things. It is easy for them to be able to move across borders. You understand? And that is the same problem that we have with Boko Haram thing. You see, it's easier for people, and because of the Fatadalon, Mali, Libya, because of the problems that have happened in those areas, it's easy for them to get sophisticated ammunition and come in and do those things. So that's who they are. Miyetti Allah is not a group that we should even bother about.
They don't even have control over these people.
Yes, they don't have control over these people. So what is important
Why
is
can't they stop the killings in Zamfara, for example?
Because now, for the first time, the police are doing what we've asked them to do. And that is why what we've always criticized the president for shows that if the president had gotten involved earlier, why we are seeing what is happening now is because now the president has given the go-ahead to giving a direct order to say, look, these people must be arrested and prosecuted. And we can see that arrests are being made. Yes, arrests are being made. That's what we've always complained, to say, look, things like this cannot happen, and the president will just keep quiet, because it sends a wrong signal. But now that the president has said people should be, those who are committing atrocities should be arrested, and the Nigerian police are doing so, we must allow them to continue to do the good job they are doing. In fact, they must make more arrests, so that because this killing is still continuing, so that we can reduce it. It is not fair for us to be fearful in our country.
It's not looking as if our security agencies, as if they are on top of this situation, because we will still have these attacks on a daily basis. When you just check the content of every newspaper in the morning, I did that this morning, like killings. That's all what the story is about. And when you look at it, it's as if our security agencies are overwhelmed.
I think so. What I would have said, things have gone so bad, and they are everywhere. So the security agencies, it will be difficult for them to be everywhere to contain them at the same time. But what they need to do is what they have started doing. Once they show we mean business, we have started somewhere, it means they can reach you anytime. So you are likely to begin to say, okay, let's see what we could do to allow peace reign. And I think, like the others said, I actually believe that what the police has started doing in Taraba is what they should do. Yes, nobody says all those who are arrested are criminals, and you can say that. No. But then you must start investigation.
Profile them.
Yes, you first of all call them. They saw about 4 lorry loads of herdsmen heading in a particular direction.
Where are they going?
Within this setting, within the tension that we have in the land, they have a duty to apprehend them and say, gentlemen, where are you heading for? And then the people from the communities, the local government chairman in Takum, call their attention to look, see what is happening. We expect that the police will fold their arms and thereafter will blame them again and say, how could 4 lorry loads of herdsmen be moving at this moment and we do nothing? No, I think we should give them credit in this, but they should do more. Do more of it. And as many as are innocent, they should be set free as soon as possible.
That's a punchline there. But actually, when you want to look at the way, things are going, and we can't now say, we can't pinpoint a particular area of operation for these people. Now they're all over. They're in Benue, they're in Zamfara, they're in Plateau Jos, and the way you're looking at it, tactically, this is new for our military. And I don't know, maybe you've interacted with any of these security guys and how they intend to go about combating this. While at the same time, we are still faced with the menace of Boko Haram. Boko Haram has not been defeated. Boko Haram is still, they're still wreaking havoc. They've still captured 110 girls, and the unit that is not potent, and they successfully hiding 110 girls from the face of this, maybe Nigeria or outside, but they moved somewhere. They did not disappear. It shows us something.
I really pity the armed forces, especially the army, because the army, we have so much faith in the army. We've lost faith in the police. And right now, the worst that can happen to us is to begin to see the army as incapable of solving these problems. And the more these things, the more these killings happen, the more we want to look at our security forces and ask questions. How come they can't solve this problem? Look at what happened in Adamawa State. Herdsmen firing at a Nigerian Air Force plane. And the danger in doing that. If the aircraft was flying low.
Let me just pause you a little bit. Let me just pick up. Johnson is calling us from Ghana. Thank you for joining us, Johnson.
Hello?
Yes, thank you for joining us. Where are you calling from?
How are you?
Fine.
How are you?
Why are you calling us from in Ghana?
How are you?
I greet you, sir. I'm fine.
Yes, well done. Well done. I really appreciate what people are doing. I watch you every day in Ghana.
Thanks.
So, what I wanted to say about Momo, this is not the first time Momo has been saying such a thing all over. You can remember Johnny Delekiwa. That man is not a journalist. He's always put trouble, put petrol in water.
Johnson, go to your point. Make your point, Johnson.
Make your point. Don't abuse him. Just leave him alone.
You just leave Momo alone.
Yes.
Don't let it create problem for us in this country.
Okay.
And let's face where we are going.
Okay.
About these people causing trouble all around. President knows because they wanted to start the what do you call the head of the police. That's why they are doing all this rubbish they are doing now. Because he's ready to go, either he wants it or not, he has to leave that place. Enough is enough. God bless you, Babajide. And all of you, God bless you. Bye-bye.
We greet you, Johnson. God bless you.
Thank you, Johnson. Okay.
Another dimension to it, though.
I said, look, you can imagine what could have happened if they succeeded in bringing down a Nigerian Air Force plane, or headsmen, and an AK-47 fired at even an Apache helicopter as thick as his armor is. If the helicopter is flying low, it will bring it down. So we were just lucky that it didn't happen. And that's to tell you the extent to which these people are going. Some of them have rocket-propelled grenades. These things can be bought easily in the black market. And then you have conflicts with fellow Nigerians. you go and engage them to come and kill the people that you have a quarrel with. We just must find a way to solve this problem. We can't continue like this. And I'm happy that these arrests are being made. The arrests were not made in January. This is March. Those arrests are being made. Perhaps if we were this serious from the beginning, this would not have become the terrible national embarrassment that it has become. 1,710 Nigerians killed in 2 months.
Damn.
Yes. And 1,000 of them killed in January alone. I mean, it's something that should bother everyone. And don't also forget the implication of sacking farming communities for even food security. Yeah. Those states that are badly affected, their capacity to even make internally generated revenue will be reduced. Because a lot of these people are not in their farms anymore.
That's the food basket of...
Yes, they are targeting the agrarian Nigerian states. Taraba, after Benue, Taraba is probably the most fertile in the country. They are targeting Taraba, targeting Benue, and the rest of the, even Kogi now. Even Kogi now, they killed 12 people.
Your closing thoughts on this, Mayor?
I want to enjoin the Nigerian police to continue what they are doing. I know that the Nigerian army is a bit overstretched based on the security challenges, especially in the northeast, but they should try to do more. It is important for us to, because these people they are really criminals. Because apart from attacking these communities, they get involved in kidnapping, they get involved in armed robbery, cattle rustling. Most of the, especially that's Abuja, Kaduna, that exists. Most of the robbery there is by them. So it's important for us. Now the police have started. They should make sure that they do more so that we can check the activities of these criminals.
Bolani?
In addition to that, I would just say that there is a need for closer integration among the security forces. It's not something for the police alone, or for the army alone, or for the DSS. All of them must work together. And intelligence is very key. If you don't have intelligence, you may not know how to move. And secondly, professionalism. Political interference is a major problem. But once you are professionals and you do your work and everybody has confidence in you, then the battle is half won.
Thank you. And moving on now, on Saturday, it's a sad one. Nigeria lost one of its cerebral senators, the late Ali Wakili, was a distinguished parliamentarian. His death not only shocked those that had personal relationship with him in the National Assembly and Bauchi South Senatorial Districts, but it shocked President Muhammadu Buhari. Wakili was one of the 10 All Progressive Congress senators who walked out of the chamber last week to protest against the controversial amendment of the Electoral Act. President Muhammadu Buhari, Senate President Bukola Saraki, Speaker of the House of Representatives Yakubu Dogara described him as fearless. What made Wakili different? But first, let's watch this clip.
Some of the actors that once were clamoring for dismembering of this Nigeria are now sitting down in this hall to represent their ethnic nationalities. Remember some years back, there was a treasonable attempt to topple the military head of state, and my state, Bauchi State, was among the states exiled from Nigeria. It is some of those people that are taking a front banner to talk about this summit. That is the unfortunate aspect of it. Then you discover that the elite selfishness has come out. You discover that the elites that have taken from the Nigerian state, where they have failed, now they are becoming divisive agents, speak on behalf of their people in the name of restructuring, in the name of federalism and other things. And I have said it, unfortunately, in a private fora inside, since it's not open to the public, that there is nowhere in the world that federalism is the same. The federalism operating in the United States of America is different from that operating in Canada. That of Canada is different from that of Germany. That of Germany is different from that of Pakistan. That of Pakistan is different from Nigeria. So when you are talking about this concept of federalism, don't say because it happens in America. No. Each and every federated state has its uniqueness. Agreed. When you are talking about decentralization of powers, devolution, when the Constitution has said there should be 3 tiers of government? Are you talking about fiscal federalism? Why you think that because the revenue formula does not favor you today, or it favors you, or a situation why you think some people are lapping on others, why you think they are parasites because of hydrocarbon oil? Or are you thinking that in this 21st century, when we are talking about forwardness, you want us to go back to the 50s when we are talking about regions? After all, even when you are talking about ethnic nationalities, Nigeria was conquered by the British.
It's been a while I see a senator, especially, very, that's frank and speaking so intelligently. He's not talking about revenue, their wages in the National Assembly. He's talking about restructuring Nigeria, and it's, touching the hearts of this argument, Babajide. Very intelligent senator.
If you listen to him to the end, he was even talking about the future of hydrocarbon itself. Now, why are people obsessed with oil when the rest of the world, is moving away from oil? We are still obsessed with oil. And he's saying, look, I come from Bauchi State. That Bauchi State has potentials of its own. That even the sun that beats us in Bauchi in significant proportions, we can tap it as alternative source of energy. I mean, we lost a very brilliant senator. I have followed him for so long. You see this guy, and he's very decent, very honest. He just speaks his mind. And in that Senate, I doubt if the president has a bigger supporter than Wakili. I doubt it. The president, I'm sure he knows that in that Senate, he does not have a bigger supporter than this man who died. That is just such a terrible thing. He attended Dangote's daughter's wedding that same day. And then he got home, slumped, and that was it. So we have lost a very erudite, very brilliant, very honest senator. I can only pray for the family of Senator Wakili, that God will give them the strength to bear these losses. He was one of the stars of northern Nigeria.
What did he?
I want to send my own condolences to the family of the late senator. But I want to look at it from the point of view that it seems a lot of us, especially when we cross the age of 50, do not take our health seriously. We get so sucked in the rat race to survive, whether going to work or doing things or trying to make money or be successful, that we take our health for granted. And when you cross that 50, it's important for you to do checkup regularly. It's important for you to check things that you eat and things that you do and your lifestyle. Yes, we say that, but a lot of us don't do that. Because I noticed that there is this trend now that people die suddenly. And usually it's either they die in their sleep or they slump, which is still boils down. Jogging or doing any physical thing, which basically has to do with the heart, you understand, or heart-related matters. And we all know that it is when you get to a point that it snaps. If we have checked it earlier, it's something that you could put in check. So we should also learn from that, because we've lost a man that will have been very good for Nigeria, that will have benefited from his wisdom and his association in the Red Chamber. So I want to enjoin all of us to take our health seriously, especially when we are over 50. Yes, because a lot of people are dying now. And it's so sad that people just slump now, whether they're doing. Don't forget that the young man that died recently, the Tinubu, is the same thing. He's somebody that has played football the time he played football, and he just slumped and died. And people are doing that now, and I think we should take our health more seriously. Yes.
Volody?
Well, it's gone. Nothing we could do about that again. And it reminds all of us that death is inevitable. The inevitable end of everybody. So whatever you could do at any point in time, do it. So people will remember you for it. Everybody is saying it. He was honest, he was direct, he knew what he was doing, he could not easily be cornered anyhow. And so That's the testament that goes after him, is his own epitaph. Every one of us, at different times, will exit this stage.
Yes.
How will you be remembered? That's what matters to me.
Babajide, that same day, the beauty of Islam, that same day was lowered, buried, and the rest, they say, is history. But what he stood for in his lifetime, that's what we're still talking about now. He was even at the vanguard of those, against his colleagues on this constitutional amendment.
Well, he demonstrated his loyalty to President Buhari till the end.
And to Nigeria.
And to Nigeria as well, because some of his views, yes, he was a very strong Buhari supporter, but some of his views were very progressive. And you could count on his honesty at any point in time. I remember when he had to praise a PDP governor for transparency. And he did. I said, we went to this governor. This governor showed transparency. He is one of the governors who do not tamper with local government funds. And he praised him, and I'm like, look, this is the kind of politics that I want to see our people play. Don't come with the impression that, that nothing PDP, good can come out of the PDP. Because when you say that, you forget that a lot of the people in the APC today used to be in the PDP.
80%.
About 19 of the governors today, the APC governors today, used to be in the PDP. So if you delude yourself, I had an argument with a relation who was trying to give the impression that there was nothing good that Jonathan did. And I said, look, this is not what you can defend. There were some good things that good Lord Jonathan did. Absolutely. If a Fashola can come out openly to say, look, Jonathan built more roads as president than the presidents before him, how can you come and say that he did not achieve anything? You can't say that. As long as it is facts that you need to defend a position, you cannot successfully do that, because he too definitely has redeeming features. I like to see politicians who are honest, who are direct, who speak straight from their hearts. Not someone that, when you're talking about him, they see someone who is never straight, whom you cannot predict his position on even matters of principle. That's why I will miss Senator Wakili personally, but I know that the people of Adamawa State, that Bauchi State, that he represented so well, will miss him more.
I want to thank you, Obalaje. Thank you. Thank you for making our time.
Thanks for
sure you make it a regular thing, please. We want to see more of you. Mayor, it's always good to have you. And the master himself, Babajide Kolade,
thank you.
He makes it happen on Journalist Hangout, and that's it. That's our offering today. Join us tomorrow for another interesting episode of the program. You can watch the repeat broadcast tonight at 11. You can also watch Journalist Hangout on our platforms showing on the screen. And you can also catch us on YouTube. That's youtube.com/TVC News Nigeria. Our feedback channel is Journalist Hangout at tvcnews.tv. I'm Ayodele Ozubakun. See you tomorrow. God bless Nigeria.